What's going on, everybody? It's your boys over Notids off DFS here, bringing that NBA slate breakdown for the massive NBA slate that we got on tonight. If you guys new here, you guys are just not finding out this channel, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content I do put out over here, and drop a like on this video if this video or any of my other videos help you guys win some money. Over the weekend, of course, you guys know I don't normally put out YouTube videos and content and stuff like that, but I still do drop a lot of stuff in the Discord and also on the Patreon. And one thing that I have done now is that all of my game stack slips, I've been putting them inside of the Discord. So the way, if anybody wants to tail them, follow them, you guys can go ahead. As you can see, over the weekend, well, the Sunday slate, the little 2 games that we had, did some game stacking in that. And Jaylen Brown, man, he strikes again. The dude had so many turnovers and honestly, a couple of open shots that he could have hit. Was too busy getting tied up with Duncan Robinson to make free throws and things like that. But nonetheless, still was able to make some money and even taking advantage of some of these goblins that they actually have over here over on Prize Pick. You know, that was Sunday, and then this one from Saturday, was able to hit this one for the Spurs of Brooklyn's game. So definitely, if you guys are interested in the game stacks and things that I am putting out over here on the channel, definitely tap into some of the sources that I have. Again, I do put a lot of stuff out for free. I'll have a couple of game stacks again going up on Twitter, X. If you guys are looking for that, the link for that is down in the description below, so you guys can follow that. But if you're looking for all of the content that I actually do put out, make sure you guys check the link down in the description below so you guys can find all that stuff and check it out. Over on DraftKings, we only have 9 games that they're going to be covering, but there are 10 games on the slate for tonight. Of course, as typically as what they've been doing lately, these late games, the 10:30 or 10 o'clock games, sometimes they'll cut them off of the slate. So we only got to really focus on these 9 games right here. But definitely we'll still maybe have some content out for this Minnesota and Los Angeles Clippers game. So definitely tap in if you guys are trying to see and get that stuff. With that being said, let's go ahead. Let's break this down. As you know, we got some injuries and stuff to cover as always. Philly taking on Cleveland. Philly side, they're going to be without Batum, Covington, JoJo, Kyle Lowry. He recently just signed with them. Melton is still out. So we will get to see Buddy Hield and I forgot who else they had picked up, but we'll get to see that over here. Tobias Harris currently a game time decision. Hopefully he does actually get to play and will be in for this game. Definitely something to pay attention to, because if he's going to be out, then we do know the usage will be up for Kelly Oubre, Tyrese Maxey, things like that. Over on the Cleveland side, no news that really we have to pay attention to. Their starters and stuff, they're all good to go. Should be hopefully a good game right here. The Pacers taking on the Charlotte Hornets. Tyrese Halliburton, game time decision. We've seen that over the last several games, but he should be good to go and play in this game. And then for the Hornets, of course, they got my boy Trey Mann. He got to start last game and played a significant amount of minutes. Pretty cheap in what should be a back and forth type game. And as he continues to get more acclimated to this team, definitely something to pay attention to. Chicago Bulls, Kobe White, game time decision, but expected to play. Alex Caruso, game time decision as well. Something just to, I don't really think there's too much I got to pay attention to here, but definitely something, just knowing if Caruso is out, then that's just going to vote maybe a little bit more usage for Ayo DeSumo, Kobe White, something like that, because Caruso is another ball handler out there for them. For the Atlanta Hawks, no news to really report in the starting lineup, but of course they are still without Clint Capella, so Okongwu is starting for them. San Antonio Spurs, no news to report. Toronto Raptors, no news to report. New York Knickerbockers, Hartenstein, game time decision. Biggest thing that we want to pay attention to, because maybe we might see Precious slide down to that center role instead. Definitely something that I do want to know if he's going to be in or out. For the Houston Rockets, Shangoat, he is a game time decision, but I do expect for him to actually play. And they are still without Freddie V, Cam Whitmore, and Tari Eason. So minutes for Jabari Smith Jr., Dylan Brooks, those guys should be solidified here in this matchup. Over on the Denver Nuggets taking on Milwaukee Bucks. This should hopefully be a good game. KCP, game time decision. Michael Porter Jr., he will be playing today. Joker, Aaron Gordon, they're good to go. Bucks side, Damian Lillard, it looks like he's back. Giannis, he's going to be playing. Pelicans, Zion, game time decision with that foot or hand. Honestly, I lose track of what it is because it seems like they rest him every so often. I wouldn't be surprised if he was going to actually be out, since they are playing against the Memphis Grizzlies, who, again, they have been able to keep games close, but they are rolling out the BCD squad out there. So definitely something to pay attention to if Zion will be held out, just because they honestly should not need him in a 9.5 point spread going up against the Memphis Grizzlies, which are literally rolling out just bench pieces and players out here. And they have another, a lot of injuries once again. Washington Wizards taking on Dallas. Kind of don't expect, not even kind of, don't expect this game to be close, but we do got some, one person in particular that's going to be going up against his former team. I do expect for Daniel Gafford to have a field day going up against the Marvin Bagley defense and just giving it all to Washington out there. His debut was beautiful against my OKC Thunder. Honestly, his size is something really big, and just the lob threat that he actually has with Luka and Kyrie. You already see the chemistry. It is crazy. And then last but not least, the Golden State Warriors, which I just found out that Steve Kerr will not be coaching the Warriors tonight. He is going to be over for the ceremony for the funeral for their head coach that passed away. Well, not head coach, for one of their coaches that had passed away, their assistant coach. So I personally think Golden State Warriors might be playing with a chip on the shoulder, just because they know what's going on for tonight, and it'll be their chance to get over 500 tonight with this game. And then the Utah Jazz, nothing really to report over here for the Jazz. Same old starters, tight rotation. Well, not even tight rotation, loose rotation, a lot of minutes and things like that. All right, heading over to DraftKings, the site that I play the most on the site. If you guys don't got an account and you want one, check the link down in the description below so you guys get that deposit match bonus and join me over here on the King. Also, tonight, if you guys don't play on DraftKings and you want a chance to win $100,000, I think tonight, not even I think, tonight is the night to do that. Right now, they have a $4 entry. $4, not the typical 15, $4. 150 max for 100K to first. $4. Deposit 10 bucks into your DraftKings account. Get you 2 entries into this. Tonight would be the night to take advantage of this. Yeah, of course, I know you might not win, but who's to say that you won't have the right lineup to actually go ahead and take this down and to win it on tonight's slate? Definitely check that out. $4 to just to get a chance. Not saying that you got to go in here and max it, but still, go ahead, give yourself a shot to possibly be able to win this contest right here. I think it'll be like maybe what, $600-ish that you would actually have to spend if you wanted to fully max enter this, if you were to do the whole GPP thing. Not telling you that you got to do that, but just go ahead, throw $4 in. That's cheaper than going to go buy a lottery ticket or something like that to give yourself a chance to win $100,000, which is pretty nice, life-changing money for some people out there. That definitely will pay a lot of bills for the year. Also can get you out of debt if you're in debt and things like that. So you know, I'm not really truly endorsing gambling, but definitely something to take advantage of, and I would take advantage if I had the chance to do that, which I am, because I do have the chance to do that. All right, starting out with the Indy taking on the Charlotte Hornets. This game right here hopefully could be a decent and close matchup. Right now, the spread in this game is a 9.5-point spread. Either way, I still think you want to get some pieces from this. We know both of these teams, they play pretty fast, and it should be up and down. Long as the Hornets can actually keep it close with the new pieces that they got, I think they might be able to actually do that. Over here, Halliburton, he's still not above 9K. It looks like he is playing roughly around 30 minutes a game out there. If we're going to actually get that from Hallie, the upside that he actually will have in this matchup, pretty good. I'm not scared of Trey Man defense, Vasa defense, or anything like that they do have with the new guards over there. So definitely a pretty decent spot. Siakam, I do think that he has probably the best position. Him and Turner, both of these guys should have the best spot, and the minutes should be solidified with Jalen Smith being out for this game. So either one of these guys, the value is definitely there, especially at the price, 7.9 for Pascal Siakam, who he hasn't had another 50-point, 40-point fantasy point type game. This definitely is the matchup for him to be able to go out there and do that going up against the Charlotte Hornets. Either one of those guys, I do like the position for them. Everyone else over here, I'll say the best GPP option will be Bennett Mathurin. We do know he thrives in these kind of fast-paced type games. Has played 24, 23 minutes in his last 2 games that he's been back since his injury. Hasn't had that big pop of a game just yet, and this could possibly be it, especially if the game gets out of hand. Maybe they give him some extra bench run or something of the sort. If Halliburton was to be out, or we get word that he's going to be limited, then of course you're going to want to look to the Nembhard and the TJ McConnell. Either one of those guys, it's going to be a coin flip right there for me, but no one is. I have to go ahead and play them. Of course, best play to me over here on the Indy side is going to be Pascal Siakam or Miles Turner. On the Charlotte Hornets side, you got your Miles Bridges, you got your Brandon Miller, Nick Richardson. These are the main starters right here that we've been riding for quite some time. You can definitely go to Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller. Both of those guys are going to be in great spots of, again, fast-paced team matchup, a lot of threes to go around, things like that. But I kind of want to come down here and focus on the Trey Man, the Vasa Micic, the Seth Curry, the Davis Bertans. These guys are here that they just got. In that first game, Trey Man went up there. I want to say he played like, what, 27 minutes. Pretty good, and dropped 31 fantasy points. As he continues to get acclimated to this team, you see he's going to go out there and take the shots. He's going to take those threes, but he's also playmaking, which is something that I know that he can actually do. He just didn't get the shine, and was the time to actually do that for the Thunder. Vasa Micic, he's already shown he's great in the pick and roll. Was really great in the pick and roll for us already as it was, but for him to come over here and already do that, have the instant connection with Miles Bridges, with Nick Richardson. He's a vet. This guy has been playing ball for years. He is a EuroLeague MVP coming over here, and he's playing. And for 3,900, if you're going to tell me that the Charlotte Hornets are actually going to play this dude 20 plus minutes a game, and he has the free will to go out here and make mistakes, do whatever it is that he wants to do, I will take that at that price. That is really great value, 3,900. I really don't see a reason to either sleep on either one of these guys, Trey Man or Vasa. Both of them look really great. Grant Williams, he's been someone that's been up and down already when he was on the Dallas Mavericks. Not someone that I was too fond of playing. Again, he's one of those smaller power forward type players. Really, he's just there because he's a big body. That's the only reason. Definitely you can mess with going there, but not someone that I'm like, I gotta go play it. I'd rather go ahead and just play Miles Bridges, who is the starting power forward, and we'll get a lot more burn and run. But Trey Man, Vasa, both of those guys are definitely your value that you're gonna want to get to on today's slate if you're looking at anything from over there on the Charlotte Hornets side. And just the slate period, that's gonna let you fit some of these studs like the Joker, like the Wembanyama, the Steph Curry, the Giannis, and things like that on the slate. Over here on the 76ers taking on Cleveland, this should be honestly a grinded out type game. Long as Cleveland does get out to a super crazy lead, which I do believe they are the better team currently right now. Of course, we know Joel Embiid, Philly so. Now, if Tobias Harris is going to be out, that's also going to be another damper for them. Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre Jr., and Buddy Hield, they get all the uses they can actually carry. As we've seen in those first 2 games with Buddy Hield coming over and playing against Atlanta and against Washington, he's playing 40 and 36 minutes, a lot of minutes, and he's getting those shots up. Again, he's taking those threes, he's taking just his regular shots, but he's also doing what he was doing already over there for the Pacers, and just filling up the stat sheet pretty much. Don't mind him at that 6'3", pretty good price tag, especially if there's no Tobias Harris, more shots to go around, and more responsibility for Buddy Hield. With a playmaker in Tyrese Maxey, it's not nothing new for Buddy to be able to play off of a really good point guard as well out there. Now, biggest thing too was that Cameron Payne, he started the first game going up against Atlanta, but second game came off the bench. If you want to mess with it, this is more of his role that he was playing when he was over on Milwaukee Bucks. You can definitely go there. That's another value play we can get to, but I don't see a need to necessarily go there. I do think this game would blow out if Tobias Harris is going to be out. Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre, I don't think that they will have necessarily the firepower to be able to handle going up against Cleveland and what they can actually do with their bigs and things over here. On the other side, Evan Mobley, love the spot for him. He's been playing pretty great since he's come back. Really great usage rate whenever he's out there on the court. And again, that minute limit, it looks like it's really more around that 26 to 28-ish range. If the game stays close, he should be able to kill it. As you can see, he's been dropping 30-plus fantasy points in pretty much almost every single game since really the limit got bumped up to that 25, 26-ish range for him. Outside of that, Jared Allen, who's going to guard him? I'm not scared of Paul Reed unless they put Mo Bamba out there. Maybe Mo Bamba can deter him from getting some of his shots at the rim, but the rebound should be there. The block should be there if anyone tries to come on the inside. Really great spot for Jared Allen going up against a weaker center since there is no Joel Embiid out there for him. Outside of that, Donovan Mitchell is one of your GPP spend up options you can go to. They don't have anyone that's going to be able to stop Donovan Mitchell and just the role that he's been on. I understand that Garland's back. He's getting back into his groove, his rhythm, things like that. GPP option at 6'4". I would much rather just find the 400 I need to come up to Evan Mobley if I'm going to do anything there at the over here for the price range. I understand they're 2 different positions, but just the value that I can get for Evan Mobley, just knowing that his fantasy point production is a little bit better than Darius Garland currently right now, I'd rather go ahead and take that. Outside of that, you can mess with Sam Morrell. That's, of course, always going to be my favorite GPP option. Anything over here for the Cavs in games that possibly can blow out because the kid is a firecracker and comes out there and he just knocks down his shot whenever it comes down to it. Over here on the San Antonio Spurs taking on Toronto Raptors. For me, it's literally just Wemby, nobody else. I don't have any interest in Sochan, Keldon Johnson, Vassell, none of these guys. None of them just tickle the whistle over here. One of my favorite sayings. But Wemby at 8'9", he's coming off of some pretty meh games over his last couple games. 32, 25 fantasy points, not giving us that 40, 50. This is definitely a matchup right here going up against Jakob Poeltl, who is not going to be able to light a candle anywhere comparison to Wemby. The block upside should be back for Wemby. That's been one of the things that has been down over his last couple games. As you can see, 1 block, 0 steals, 3 blocks and 1 steal, but the point production, the rebounds were not there going up against Orlando, who is a bigger team and played very physical in that game going up against him. But games like going up against Miami, going up against a smaller center, and Bam, which is the same thing as Jakob Poeltl going up here in this matchup. 18 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, a block, a steal. Very good. 19 points, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 14 rebounds going up against Cleveland. So I definitely do think the matchup is going to favor more of Wemby to actually get himself going again inside this game and matchup going up against the Toronto Raptors. Then on the Toronto Raptors side, Scotty Barnes, he popped off in that last game against Cleveland. 35 minutes, dropped 60 fantasy points. Looked very good. Looks like he's looking more like the Scotty Barnes of old. Definitely do have interest in him as a GPP option, but not something that is like, I have to go ahead and play this guy. Quickly, RJ Barrett, Jakob Poeltl, all these guys are GPP options over here for me. They are in a really good matchup considering that it is the San Antonio Spurs. They should be able to go ahead and give them work. I will say, if I'm choosing between the center, I don't mind coming out here to Kelly Olynyk. They're giving him some pretty decent run and minutes out there for them. 22 minutes in the last game against Cleveland, 30 fantasy points, and he just stuffs the stat sheet every single time he's out there on the court. Love the upside underneath 5K. You guys already know I got to think for players that can definitely go up there and give me that 25-ish fantasy points in their under 5K. Really great spot. Chicago Bulls taking on the Atlanta Hawks over here. Vooch, DeRozan, Kobe White, all of them great spot. We know Atlanta, they like to play fast, lackluster on defense out there. If Kobe, which I do fully expect for him to play, there's no Alex Caruso. Ayo Dosunmu at 5'4". That's just a steal for him inside this matchup. 39 minutes in the last game against Orlando. Did go to overtime. 28.5 fantasy points. Looking more like himself of old and what he was giving us in those other games. Again, if Alex Caruso is out, his stock goes up without Alex Caruso because that'll be a couple more shots, locks him on the defensive side, and just the production that he actually can give us out there at that price tag. Outside of that, DeRozan, Vucevic, look at the ownership, see which one's going to be lower owned. That would be the one I would go to. And then Kobe White's your GPP option because I don't believe anyone's going to click the name On the other side, Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young, Dejounte Murray, Jalen Johnson. All these guys in play, I would say Saddiq Bey, he sticks out to me as someone that has some decent value. Always goes kind of, not even kind of, goes under owned on the slate because no one really pays attention to what the guy goes out there and does. His production is there always in the starting lineup, and he produces, especially if Hunter, if he's going to be limited or just be out, which looks like Hunter, he's good to go. But I do like the upside for Saddiq Bey here in this spot. If Jalen Johnson gets himself in a foul trouble, that always catapults what he can go out here and do. 6'1", pretty nice price tag considering he's given us 41, 37, 41 fantasy points in his last couple of games. Great spot for him in a decent matchup going up against Chicago Bulls. Outside of that, Trae Young, another favorite GPP play. Definitely, if you got to choose between Donovan Mitchell and Trae Young, I would take Trae Young over Lonnie Donnie. As we do know, Trae, he always finds a way to go ahead and get himself there in the production, always. Pelicans taking on Memphis. If there's no Zion, then Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, be your main two guys you want to go to. Jonas Valanciunas, again, with no Zion, will always be a staple for me. I will always look to possibly just jamming in Joe Val because that means the rebounds will be there for Jonas. The playmaking that he also gets at the position without Zion out there, all those go up. Now, it's a pretty easy matchup going up against the Memphis Grizzlies. Guards, they've been literally cooking whenever they play them. This will probably be one of those games that I do game stack. I do see some unders I can take over on the Memphis side because the Pelicans, they are a pretty good defensive team coming in this. On the Memphis side, I have no interest in anybody over here, if I'm telling the truth. Nobody sticks out unless maybe Scottie Pippen Jr. You can see him getting a little bit of extra burn and run if he's back with the team, not with the G League. Definitely don't mind going to him. He's been very productive in his minutes and his time out there. I do like the upside for him. Outside of that, Vince Williams Jr., he's always pretty steady in regards to what he goes out there and he gives us. I don't mind going to him as another possible play, but nobody is like, I have to go out here and play this guy with it for me. Over here for the Denver Nuggets, honestly, this should be a good matchup. Hopefully, both of these teams come to play. I'm pretty sure this is probably one of the TNT or ESPN type games on today's slate. The Joker, like, no questions. This centers have literally done very well going up against Brook Lopez or whoever they throw out there at the center position. And this is going to be no different. It is the Joker. He's going to go out here. He's going to ball. He knows the matchup. Going up against the Bucks, literally probably 2 weeks ago, maybe 20 and on the 29th. Played 40 minutes in that game, 76.5 fantasy points, triple-double, as always. He always comes out here. He has triple-double upside, 25, 12, and 16 in that game. Love the spot once again. If I'm paying up for a stud, and if Luka is going to possibly be out or something like that, we have our three main studs on the slate that go out there and average a 60 to 70 fantasy points a game. With the Joker, Giannis, and Luka. The Joker, 11.5. I will take that all day, every day. And just looking at it, he is the lower price out of the three. Pretty sure he will be higher owned, especially considering the matchup. Now, outside of that, if you want to get off of him, you can mess with Jamal Murray. We know opposing point guards have done very well going up against the Milwaukee Bucks throughout the season. When he played in that game going up against them, he dropped 48 fantasy points in that game, 35 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds. Definitely a spot you can go to, 8-2, another one of those mid-tier type guards you can come down and get to if you don't want to mess with the Joker. Outside of that, Michael Porter Jr., if there's no KCP, don't mind him as a GPP option. And then same thing for Aaron Gordon. Both those guys, they're okay for plays, but main primary guy I want to get to will be the Joker. And then the second player would be Jamal Murray if I take anything from over there. But the Joker, main guy I want to get to. Over here on the Bucks side, this is definitely a bounce back spot for the Bucks. They didn't have the best game going up against the Denver Nuggets when they played them those couple weeks ago. You definitely can mess with Giannis, but I will say over the last couple games, it's just been meh. Hasn't been explosive Giannis like this 84 fantasy point game we got going up against the Dallas Mavericks. Doc Rivers, I personally feel like he should be in hot water, has been playing like not him playing, but his players have been playing like hot garbage. I will say, of course, that last game against Charlotte Hornets, they blew him out, so no need for it, but looks like he's getting back on track in regards to what Giannis can go out here and do. I don't mind paying up for him, especially if he will be lower owned out of all three studs. We just think that he actually comes out with the force in this matchup. Damian Lillard, really just GPP option. He's been so flip-floppy in regards to what he's been giving us so far throughout the season. You definitely can go here as another play. Looks like his assist numbers, they've definitely been pretty decent. As long as he can actually come out here and score, that's just really been the biggest thing with him. And if there's no KCP, the defensive matchup should be better for Dame going out here. We know with no Chris Middleton, people have had to step up, like Jay Crowder, Bob Portis. Those guys are getting really decent run and burn. Same thing from Malik Beasley. These guys are getting those minutes. I would definitely look between all three of them. Beasley, just because he starts, definitely be more the player I want to go to. Jay Crowder, he is going to be out there. He's getting some burn as well. If he could go out here and not play 30 minutes to give me 12.5 fantasy points and give me more of what he gave me going up against the Phoenix Suns or Minnesota Timberwolves, I would like that a lot from him, especially at 4,500. Much cheaper, and I know he's a do-it-all. He can definitely stuff the stat sheet. Don't mind either one of those guys. And then Bobby Portis, he'll be your GPP option. Of course, he's a very good fantasy point per minute producer when he is out there on the court, but more of a GPP option for me. Now, not someone that I feel like is a must that I have to shove into my line. But when I look at it, for me, Beasley, Crowder be your value plays that you want to go ahead and get to from this side of the game, and definitely something that I would look to. New York Knicks taking on the Houston Rockets. Brunson, be your main guy. Dante DiVincenzo, the prices come up just not even just a little bit too much for me. I'm not paying 8K for Dante DiVincenzo. I understand he's been hot, been playing really great, but going up against a pretty decent defensive team in the Houston Rockets, I don't see myself paying 8K for him. Versus Achua, though, I do like the price tag for him sitting at 7K, especially if there is no Hartenstein. The rebound should be there. Possibly see him playing the center position going up against Shengo. As long as he keeps himself out of foul trouble, I do like the upside for him here in this matchup, especially at 7K. And then same thing can be said for Josh Hart sitting at the 6'5". We know another small player, but plays bigger than what he actually is. The rebounds will be there for him. As you can see, he's been pretty much a double-double since being inserted into the starting lineup. Really great spot for him. Don't mind going on there at the 6'5", overplaying the Dante DiVincenzo if it comes down to it. But Jalen Brunson, he's going to be your main guy that you want to go to over here at 9.5. Again, kind of would rather just go ahead and get to maybe the Jamal Murray, the Donovan Mitchell, things like that on the slate versus coming up and paying that much for Jalen Brunson at the 9.5 price tag against a decent Houston Rockets defense. Over on the other side for the Houston Rockets, Shengo, as long as he's in, I do love the matchup and everything for him. I do think this is a bounce back position for him after last game, 21 minutes against the Raptors, giving us 16.25 fantasy points. Just didn't look himself out there at all whatsoever. Really great spot for him to come out and drop some work. As long as he's good to go and that back is not giving him an issue, he should be green light for me. Outside of that, Min Thompson, his prices come up way too much. I don't like it. Even with Cam Whitmore, Tari Eason, those guys being out, I think that more favors the Jabari Smith Jr. over here for the team and Dylan Brooks, because those are their backups that normally come in for them and give them some decent relief when it comes down to it. So Jabari will be more the player, especially just the price savings. And if he's on, he's on. As we've seen going up against the Raptors, 39.5 fantasy points in 37 minutes. He was cooking 4 of 15. But he took 15 shots. That right there really sticks out. Played very well on the defensive side. Do like the matchup for him as well, going up against the New York Knickerbockers. Really great position. On the Washington Wizards, if they can keep this close, it will be on Kyle Kuzma, Denny Avdia, Jordan Poole, always a GPP option. I'm just not going to play him at all. I'm back on the fade train for Jordan Poole, but this will be the game that he actually goes back and goes off. Kuzma, 7.5, been balling over his last couple games. Looks really good. Definitely leading the team. They look more focused, I guess would be the best word to state for Washington. Just more focused, actually playing with a chip, if that makes any sense. So I don't mind the Kyle Kuzma or the Denny Avdia, but no one over here is a must play unless if you really do feel like this game will stay close. Looking at it right now, they have this game as a 12 point spread in favor of Dallas, of course, which they should be able to literally just go out here and win this no problem. If Luka's out, then of course you're gonna want to play Kyrie Irving. If Luka's in, then of course go ahead. You can pay for Luka. This is a good spot for him. He's just smashed. If Washington can keep this close for 3 quarters, then it'll be really great. Main player over here for me, of course, is going to be Daniel Gafford going up against his former team, which we know they bled points to centers when he was there. They're going to bleed points again, even without him there. Marvin Bagley, not scared of that defense at all. So Daniel Gafford, he should want to be able to go ahead and put on another show. Back at his hometown, playing against his former team. Great spot for him. Like him as a really great GP option at 5'6". Good position, good spot in the minutes already, as you can see. Very good. 17 minutes and killer production. The offensive putbacks, all that stuff should be there for him in this matchup. Love it for him here at the 5.6 price tag. Just not enough I can say in regards to it. Golden State Warriors taking on the Utah Jazz. This game hopefully will be close, especially because the Warriors are on the road going up against Utah at their home. Again, like I said earlier, this tonight will be the service for their assistant coach that passed away earlier in the year. So Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, we know those guys, they apparently were there. Definitely was pretty close with the coach. So possibly could be one of those games where, players go out here and they have a chip on the shoulder because they're playing for something. I do like Steph Curry in this matchup, 9-7. Opposing point guards going up against the Utah Jazz have literally crushed. So really great spot. And if you watch Curry in that game going up against, I think it was Phoenix or it might have been Indy, one of those games, but he was hot from 3. Was killing it. 54 and 55 fantasy points in back-to-back games. I definitely feel another 50-plus fantasy point game is coming. Again, if you're looking at Donovan Mitchell, Steph Curry, I'd rather go Steph Curry over Donovan Mitchell just to match up the usage and everything that he brings over here. Second fiddle, you could look to Kuminga or Podominski. Both these guys in the starting lineup been playing some decent burn and run, but Steph Curry is going to be the main guy I want to get to over here for the Golden State Warriors. Pretty consistent over his last couple games, and we know the ball's going to be in his hand. If Utah keeps this close, of course, it's going to be at the back of Lord Larknin. And what he goes like here, he gives us and he does. At A4, price tag, not bad at all for him. If you want to get a run back, but I really don't think you need one in this game. Steph Curry will be more than enough for me if I take anything from over here. John Collins, again, good spot for him. Been playing pretty solid minutes. Don't have to worry too much between him and Walker Kessler. 30 plus fantasy points in all 5 of his last games. A great spot going against the Warriors. We know they are a little weak at the center position just because it's Draymond Green, undersized center, and they're rolling a small lineup out there. As long as he keeps himself out of foul trouble, great spot. And then, of course, all your GP options. You can go down here to Walker Kessler, Keontae George, Hendricks, Dunn, all these guys, but the minutes are just not too secure in regards to it. Clarkson would be your main GPP option. We know at home he plays pretty well at home. He definitely put up some really great numbers, but main guy I would want to get to would be Laura Larkin, John Collins, and if you want to mess with it, Colin Sexton. Just know that he is splitting those minutes with Clarkson, with Dunn, with Keontae George, all that right there. If you can go out there and ball in his 20-ish, 25 minutes that he gets, definitely somewhat worth it. But at 6'6", I don't see the need to shove and get to that. It's not a priority. Like I said, main priority for this game is going to be Steph Curry if I do take anything from it. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me for the breakdown. Again, if you guys are looking for all of my stuff, all that will be posted either on the Patreon and also on X. Free content over on the X. We'll have some game stocks. I'm going to work on that as this video renders and gets uploaded. So definitely check that out. If you guys are not following, check the link down in the description below. It is there. No Days Off Chat is the Twitter handle over there on X if you guys are looking for it. Hopefully you guys do cash out on today's slate. Let's make some money. Again, $4, 100K to first. If you guys don't got an account, check the link down in the description so you guys get that deposit match bonus and join me over here on DraftKings. With it being said, it's your boy Zoe. Let's crush it. Let's kill this week before the All-Star break.